Today, we'll dive into using Gravitysketch for a specific product design task, modeling a small vase on a marble plate. We'll start by reviewing a video of the real product we aim to replicate, setting the stage for a focused and detailed design session. Join me as we bring this elegant piece to life in Gravitysketch. Firstly, let's import a reference image. It's always beneficial to have some reference images in the background for guidance, allowing us to manage the overall shape and proportions accurately. I will then import it into the workspace and scale it appropriately. Alright, let's kick things off by crafting the marble plate. We'll dive into the Shapes menu in Gravitysketch and select the option to create a plane. Once we have our plane in place, you might notice it's not quite aligned as we want it to be. No worries though, we'll quickly adjust that. By activating the Selector tool and holding down the index trigger, we can smoothly rotate our plane. Let's aim for a precise 45-degree angle to get it perfectly situated. Our next step involves transforming the plane into a subdivision surface. This conversion is crucial as it allows us greater flexibility and control over the geometry, enabling us to sculpt and smooth the plate with precision. We notice our marble plate isn't quite as long as it should be compared to our reference image. So, let's adjust its proportions to match those in the image, extending it just enough to get the right shape. Next, we'll focus on adding the handle. This part is important for the look and feel of our plate. Once the handle is in place, we'll use the Thicken tool to give our plate the same thickness as seen in our reference. After applying the Bake Thicken command, we'll separate our initial sketch from the model. This leaves us with the desired thickened surface. Now, it's time to bring in the smoothness by activating the Subdivided Surface feature. This step is essential for achieving the sleek, polished look we're aiming for. With the surface now subdivided, our focus shifts to refining the form of our model. This involves adjusting the roundness and radii to mirror those of our reference image as closely as possible. Let's dedicate some effort to fine-tuning these details, ensuring our model matches the elegance and precision of the reference. After successfully creating the base, our next step is to construct the vase that sits atop it. For this task, I'll be utilizing the Revolve tool. With the Revolve tool activated, I'll introduce some thickness to the vase, alongside a bit of input smoothing to ensure our design remains sleek and elegant. As we proceed, it's important to note that the initial size of the vase might appear overly large, but there's no cause for concern. We have the flexibility to scale it down to the desired size once we've completed the initial model. This approach allows us to refine the vase's shape more easily before finalizing its proportions. So, let's start shaping our vase. We'll aim for a design that's not too thick, adjusting its profile to achieve a more flattened appearance. Incrementally, we'll also increase its height slightly, ensuring we craft the top of the vase with precision and care. Following the formation of the vase, our next creative step involves crafting the top lid, a finishing touch that will complete its design. This stage requires a careful balance of proportions and aesthetics to ensure the lid not only fits perfectly, but also enhances the overall look of the vase. Once the lid is designed and matches our expectations, we'll address the vase and lid's size. Despite initially creating these elements in a larger scale to facilitate easier manipulation and refinement, we'll now scale both the vase and the lid down to their intended sizes. This scaling process is allowing us to accurately match the original dimensions we've set out to replicate, ensuring our finished product is harmonious and proportionate. Observing the reference image closely, we notice an intriguing detail on the lid, a small leather handle that adds both functionality and aesthetic appeal to the design. To replicate this feature with fidelity, we'll employ a subdivision surface technique. This approach allows us to sculpt the handle with a high degree of control and precision. Starting with a basic sub-D surface, we'll craft the overall shape of the leather handle. The key to achieving a look that closely mirrors the reference image lies in the adjustment of control points. These points is our instruments in shaping the sub-D surface, enabling us to fine-tune the handle's curves and overall form. Before we transition our model into Keyshot for rendering, let's infuse some life into it with color. Adding colors will not only enhance the visual appeal, but also provide a more realistic representation of how we envision the final product. Furthermore, to enrich the scene and ensure our vase isn't standing in isolation, we'll create a duplicate of the vase. This additional piece will be slightly smaller in size, and we'll position it beside the original. This subtle variation in size between the two vases introduces depth and interest to the overall design, creating a more dynamic and visually engaging composition. Last but not least, to complete our scene, we'll create a base surface that mimics the appearance of wood. This base will serve as the foundation for our marble plate and vases, adding another layer of realism to our design. With these elements in place, color added, a secondary vase created, and a wooden base established, we're now ready to bring our model into Keyshot for the final rendering process. Keyshot will allow us to apply advanced lighting, textures, and finishes, transforming our model into a visually stunning representation that's as close to the real thing as possible. Let's make the leap into Keyshot and see our design come to life in full, vibrant detail. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in learning more about Gravitysketch, check out my Udemy course linked in the description for in-depth tutorials and tips. Don't forget to leave a like and explore my other videos. Got ideas for what you want to see next? Drop a comment below. Your feedback shapes our journey ahead.